welcome to another live stream extravaganza. Live from New York, it's Friday afternoon going into evening. I already have my light on because it's already getting dark outside. It's not even 5 p.m. Whatever, I like it. Always liked it when the when it gets dark early because I always the night over the day. Just how I am. Uh Heard myself there. Uh Had the volume up a little bit. I don't know if there was any noticeable echo for any of you. Hello, AnthroFan03. Have you seen The Boys or Invincible? I have not seen either. Hello, Wheat. How you doing? A little bit of household drama last night. I don't know if you could really call it drama, but internet went out for a little bit uh, last night, late last night, like around 1 a.m. I didn't really care that much because I was in the middle of playing Resident Evil 5 single player, so not like it was the internet going out really affected my game session or anything. But my mom, who was still awake, was like, "Oh, go tell your uncle who lives in the room right next to mine that the internet went out because the router is in his room." And I knocked on his door. He was already asleep. He was working all day, so knock on his door, he opens it, and he's pissed off. He's like, "Well, I was sleeping. What do you want?" And I'm like, "The internet is out. Could you reset the router?" Because usually when the internet goes out, just press the reset button on the router, and in 5 minutes, problem solved. And he was like, "You woke me up just for that?" Well, I didn't wanna wake you up. It's my mom that told me to wake you up to, reset the router because I guess she was scrolling on Facebook at 1 a.m. or some shit. She has the day off today, so, yeah. I mean, it's nothing that got me too upset, but still, like, come on, you don't need to be that pissed off. Hello, Dylan. I joined your Discord server today. Yeah, I saw. I recognized your username because of the word wheat. I was like, oh, yeah, that person who participates in my streams. Hello, Corbin. How you doing? It's annoying when people always ask me why I don't want kids. It's funny. The other day, actually, my mom. I was talking to her on the phone, and I forget why, but the topic of kids came up, and she was like, "You're gonna have kids someday, right?" And I'm like, "I don't know." I wasn't gonna outright say no because I really didn't feel like having that argument again with her. And she's like, "I wanna be a grandmother." Should have had another kid then. I don't know what the fuck else to tell you. Like, I never believed in having kids for other people. Like, I remember a few years ago when I went to Florida to visit my grandmother, grandmother and my father told me that, the family but my father's last name dies with me because I'm an only child and, he was the only boy. Um, his 2 other siblings are 2 of my aunts, so, he was the only boy my, grandmother had. So, and, obviously, even if I had a sibling, I was supposed to have a sibling, actually. My mother had a miscarriage. Would've been just a year younger than me, and, I'm pretty sure they already knew that it was gonna be a girl, but, alas, that didn't happen, so even if she was born, last name still would've died with me. But, honestly, I don't care. I don't know, that may be heartless, but I mean, it's my choice. I don't feel like having kids. I don't see the appeal in having kids, so therefore I don't want kids, you know? I think more people should have the mindset of, I don't think I'd be fit to be a parent, so therefore I'm not going to be a parent because, I feel like a lot of people have children just to, fulfill society's pressure or, fulfill their supposed role in society, you know? A lot of people think your life isn't complete because you don't have kids, which is complete bullshit. Live your life the way you choose to. If you don't want kids, that's how you choose to live your life. You don't need to shit out a kid or yeah. Like, sometimes I go into the comment section of my, "I hate kids" video, and I just look at the comment section, and it's really nice, seeing a whole bunch of, other people who are in the same boat as me. People who are not interested in having kids and, not choosing to live up to, what society live up to the standard that society places upon them. Where did I leave off? Quite a few people commented during my, little ramble there. I relate to Anthem fan since I don't want to have kids. I don't hate kids, it's just that it would be too much for me, especially currently living with my girlfriend. I mean, yeah, I mean, that's another valid reason to not have kids, your living situation may not be able to support, a child, which again, you know, feeds into what I'm talking about. Not everyone needs to have a kid, especially if you're not, like, in a good financial situation. I don't know your financial situation, but, I'm just saying in general, you know, people don't really think it through. They just think, the novelty of having a child, the whole joy you feel when that child is first born and you're holding it in your arms. You think you're gonna feel that euphoria forever. You're not. The reality of the situation is gonna come crashing down eventually. You may not be the most financially secure, and now you have a mouth to feed, another person to support besides yourself. Just be responsible. Just know for 110 just be 110% sure that you want a child before you have a child, and for the love of God, if you're having, like, casual sex, do it protected so you don't risk, creating a child that you may not be ready for. I would say, abortion, but, that's becoming increasingly difficult in this country. Overall, also contraceptives, I mean, the Supreme Court might not get rid of those someday too, so I don't know what the fuck to tell you, but if that day ever comes, well, it'll be a very, vindicating day for me because I am probably forever alone, but no, I would actually genuinely be pissed off at that and really feel for the people who that would impact. Liberating. Imagine waking up early trying to get your kids up for school. I hate waking up early in general. Like, I can't imagine waking up early just to, you know, get some little shit out of bed that doesn't wanna get out of bed because they don't wanna go to school. No, no, thank you. Don't want that life. Can't handle the pressure of raising kids, and while I am a responsible person, parenthood requires an insane amount of it. Oh, yeah. It requires way more responsibility that, that y that, way more responsibility than just taking care of yourself would require. It's a whole life commitment. You have to make drastic changes to your life if you choose to have a child. And I'm not saying don't have children. If you feel like you're genuinely ready and you're willing to, you know, take on the responsibility, then sure, have a child. I'm not one of those, anti-natalist people who are like, having children is morally reprehensible, but I'm just saying, more people should really think it through before they have a child, because I feel like a lot of people don't do that. They just think, they they just think, it's gonna be like this fucking Disney fairy tale, that it's always gonna be sunshine and rainbows if they have a child, which is not the case at all. America is overpopulated. Yeah, probably, yeah, there's too many of us in this world. There's a lot of back and forth on whether or not overpopulation is a myth. I really look too much into it, but I don't know. I feel like we should probably stop procreating as much. I'm gonna try dating a woman of color since I almost got to date one back in 10th grade, then the pandemic happened, and I never saw the girl again even during the next school year. Oof, oof, that sucks. I've always wanted to check out the Congo rainforest and hang out with the gorillas, but the DRC is such a dangerous country, unfortunately. Yeah, I've never traveled out of country, so I don't know what that's like. The farthest I've ever traveled was Florida, so, yeah, I don't have much experience when it comes to, traveling far. That was my first ever plane ride too. I was 20 when I, went to Florida a few years ago. First time I was ever on a plane, because again, I don't go to many places. I don't even go that far away from this house usually. Speaking of Africa, I want to travel to Africa to learn an African language. That's cool. I'm I, of course, speak English. I took some Spanish classes in, middle school and high school, and I took 2 Spanish courses, when I was in my previous college, when I was in community college, and I know some words despite being born into a Spanish-speaking family. They, never taught Spanish outside of taking those classes, and I still don't really speak that much Spanish. My family has always spoken English to me because, my, mom and uncles were well, my mom and most of my uncles were born in my mom and, my, youngest uncle was born here, but, all of my immediate family speaks fluent English, so no one ever spoke to me in Spanish. Hello, EcoPunk, how you doing? Remember everyone was pissed when EDP was never arrested. Like, I think those that stupid predator catching group for completely fucking up, you know, the the whole sting up. They only really cared about getting clout for catching, a popular YouTuber for being a predator, rather than actually caring about delivering said predator to justice. Whatever happened to that other group? You know, there was a video that leaked a few months ago of, another group of people catching EDP because he was caught talking to actually a real underage girl. It wasn't another decoy. Supposedly law enforcement was involved at this time, but I never heard an update regarding that, or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. I think it depends on where in the world you're talking about. In places like India and China, overpopulation is definitely a thing. Well, yeah, in those countries, there's billions of people. Well, not billions. Well, yeah, probably billions, plural. Population of India. Oh, well, 1.4 billion as of 2021, at least almost 3 years ago, so I don't know, could have uh, gone past the, 2 billion mark, I don't know. Population of China. Oh, about the same, 1.4 billion, a little bit more as of 2021 according to Google. Yeah, there's only 7 or 8 billion of us, so I don't know, I think there's too many people in this world. Maybe we should, you know, um, slow it down a bit when it comes to, you know, adding more people into this world. There's only so many resources that this world provides, and kind of eating up a lot of those resources. I'm alright too. Getting my, finals done for the semester of college. Only have 1 paper to finish, and I only have about a page left to write. I would be working on that right now, but, streaming is a lot more fun than writing a fucking paper, so I'm doing this instead. It was really bright and sunny before, but I didn't go outside, of course, 'cause I woke up, just 2 hours ago, and now it's already getting dark. But again, like I said at the very beginning of this stream, I don't really care that it gets dark early. I like it, to be honest. I mean, I know a lot of people have seasonal depression. I'm not, like, shitting on people who, have valid reasons for not liking it, for not liking it, getting dark early, and I understand. I mean, a lot of people tend to prefer the day over the night, but I always preferred the night. It's, the night is my sanctuary. It's usually when my mental health, is better. So, I've always preferred the night, so I like it when it gets dark early. If law enforcement was involved, then EDP could face charges. God willing, God willing. Either either he gets thrown in prison or the kidney failure gets him finally. How is that going, by the way? His failing kidneys. I know he wasn't able to get a transplant, or at least that's what I heard months and months ago. It's at least 8 billion people. Yeah, there's a lot of us in this world. Again, there's probably too many of us in this world. Did you hear about plans for lab babies being developed in Japan? No, I haven't. What? Well, the first thing to pop up when it comes to lab babies being developed in Japan supposedly is Daily Mail, and I'd rather not read a Daily Mail article or a New York Post article. Ugh. NPR, that's a little bit more reputable. Japanese scientists race to create human eggs and sperm in the lab. Hmm. I guess I'll read this later. I'm not gonna read a whole article on stream right now. Are you thinking about playing the Persona 3 remake when it comes out? I don't know. I played Persona 5 and Royal. Played OG Persona 5 back in 2021, yeah. because it was free on PlayStation Plus. People told me to play Royal instead, but I was like, "Eh, I'd rather play the free game." And then a year later, I played Royal. Kinda glad that I played both though, so, and, I know the things that Royal improved upon and such in both, the gameplay and the story were things Royal added. I got the full experience when it comes to Persona 5. I liked it, but it still wasn't exactly my cup of tea. I don't really play RPGs that much, at least outside of the Mother series. I also like Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I mean, there's some RPGs that I play, it's a genre I'm completely opposed to playing, but, um, yeah, again, I liked Persona 5, but, it's nothing that I'm really itching to go back to, so I don't know if I'll play the Persona 3 remake. Also, Persona 5 was fucking long. Oh god, I remember being, like, so into the game at one point, and I took a break from it and played some other games and then went back to it. EDP looking like them old cafeteria workers. Would you ever try to do a Pokemon Nuzlocke? I don't play Pokemon games, so probably not. All the Persona games are long, especially doing social link events. Yeah, I mean, I liked bonding with the other characters, but it did get kind of boring to me, kinda slow. Especially, like, in between palaces, there's, like, what, um, 2 or so hours of story progression and doing nothing much besides, bonding with other characters. I mean, there's also mementos, of course, but, eventually it gets kind of, not that interesting to me. I don't know, the whole slow progression of the game wasn't really for me. I mainly played Persona 5 because I know quite a few people online who are fucking crazy over that game. A lot of, uh A lot of drama surrounding that game in my Discord server a few years ago that I won't get into detail into, but, yeah, I know quite a few people who are crazy about that game, and I'm not exactly on the hype train like they are. The Supreme Court is going to be hearing a case on the abortion pill soon. I'm dreading to hear the ruling. Yeah, I mean, that story from Texas the other day is, pretty horrifying. This you know, the one I made a video about a few days ago with the woman who was going to have a that had a fetus in her stomach that was, inside of her that was certainly going to die. It had a rare genetic disease that I don't think any infant has survived or any fetus has survived. Well, so there have been some fetuses with the condition that her fetus has that were able to be born, but they only survived, like, up to, like, I don't know, 5 days or some shit. You would think these hardcore pro-life Republicans would, understand that, this fetus is gonna fucking die, even if it does manage to be born, it's not gonna it's only gonna live a very short life of nothing but pain and suffering, and that's supposedly what these pro-life people wanna curtail, but no, no, they still wanted her to have this fucking kid, even if there was going to be a guarantee that it was going to die. She fled Texas to have an abortion. She's not actually going to have the kid, but, I if she were to have this kid, her fertility would be compromised. She already has, I think, 2 children, but she wants to have a 3rd one in the future, and this kid was going to be her 3rd one. Alas, that's not going to be the case, but if she did go through with the pregnancy, her fertility would be jeopardized. Again, you would think that these pro-life people would be, would, want her to be able to procreate successfully in the future. So they would be sympathetic as to why they would, she would wanna get rid of this specific fetus, but no, no, they don't care because it's never been about protecting life or protecting the unborn. It's about controlling women and people with uteruses in general. That's all it's ever been about, this whole, fight against abortion. Oh, hey, Tame, what's up? Always view Apple News stories go away. I'm not reading news right now. Um, I've always viewed abortion as a necessary evil. I don't like it. Who really does? But they should be legal because there are people who need them. Absolutely. And, there's instances like, like the case I just talked about. I don't think this pregnancy was a risk to her life necessarily. I've seen some conflicting things on that, but, overall, it would've, definitely impacted her her health when it comes to, her reproductive system. So it still would've been, the pregnancy still would've been a detriment to her body if she were to, carry the pregnancy to term. So, there's people in situations where, the pregnancy is literally a risk to their life, but a lot of these hardcore pro-life conservatives can't give a fuck less. It's funny, they talk about protecting the unborn, protecting life, but if that unborn fetus ever grows up to become, a person who gets pregnant and said pregnancy is a threat to their life, can't give a fuck less. I always love, the old George Carlin quote. If you're preborn, you're fine. If you're preschool, you're fucked because once you leave that womb, these conservatives can't give a fuck less about you. They don't wanna know you, they don't wanna help you out, and I'm like, if you care about these unborn children so much, how about you pitch in and help, these, under these families who may not be in the best financial situation, why don't you help them out, you know? You care oh so much about this kid when they're still in the fucking womb, so why don't you pitch in and help out when they're out of the fucking womb? But again, you don't care. You don't actually care about these kids. You only care about controlling the people who these kids are inside of because you view them as lower class because they were born with, a certain set of genitalia. Michael Mikey archive. Look at that old Courage profile pic. Still have that profile pic saved. I'm thinking about using it again someday. What do you think about the GMA video about YouTube? About Good Morning America? I don't know what video you're talking about. Yeah, you're gonna have to narrow that down for me. What's disgusting about some pro-lifers is that they don't do anything to prevent a situation where an abortion is needed because they don't care. Like I said, they don't care. It's not about protecting the unborn. It's not about caring about life. It's about control. That's all it's ever been about. Hello, Robert. How you doing today? And like I said, we may see a day where contraceptives are outlawed in this country, especially if Republicans win 2024. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Republicans, if they ever have, complete power, ever try to ban abortion nationwide. I'm good. You? Yeah, I'm doing pretty good myself. Can't complain. Haven't done much today besides do this stream because I always sleep late because I stay up late. I saw this tweet from DeSantis earlier. Trying to find it. Someone on my Twitter timeline quote retweeted it. Here it is. Satan has no place in our society and should not be recognized as a religion by the federal government. I'll chip in to contribute this legal defense fund. And the the tweet he's quoting is a Christian veteran has torn down and beheaded the Satanic Temple statue in the Iowa state capitol. Like, imagine being a presidential candidate in 2023 and, doing this satanic panic bullshit. So much for freedom of religion in this country. We have prominent politicians saying, no, you can't practice this certain religion because I don't like it. On average, Satanists tend to be a lot more chill than Christians. I'd rather hang out with a Satanist than a fundamentalist Christian. I've been listening to some nostalgic music lately, huh? What music specifically? Or what artists and songs specifically? I can't wait to see DeSantis completely flounder. I mean, he's already floundering, I know that, but you know, Iowa caucus is next month. I forget when exactly next month, but it's probably going to be a blowout in favor of Trump, I'd imagine. Songs by bands I used to love when I was younger, like Dope, Drowning Pool, Disturbed, etc. Huh? I know those bands, but I don't listen to them. I know my dad liked Dope and Drowning Pool when I was a kid because I'd hear their songs sometimes be blasted in the car when he was driving. It was always funny though when my dad would play music he likes. He back then he listened to mostly metal. He still likes metal too, but he also got really into rap. Um, in the last like year and a half. But he really liked a lot of new metal that was coming out back then when I was a kid. He'd play that all the time, and my mom would get pissed because she fucking hated the music. It's because of my dad that I don't hate Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is a really nostalgic band. I mean, I know they don't make good music, but it's a guilty pleasure. Okay, I unironically enjoy some Limp Bizkit, even if I know what I'm listening to isn't good. Who the fuck cares? It's fun. It's fun music. Okay, it's stupid in an endearing kind of way. I don't think DeSantis or Ramaswamy will make it longer. Yeah, no one has a shot in hell. No one running for the for the GOP nomination, presidential nomination, really has a shot besides Trump. Like the only saving grace any of these other candidates have is Trump being thrown in a prison cell or Trump just suddenly dying. That's why I don't fucking bother watching these stupid GOP debates because what the fuck is the point? None of these people have a shot in hell at becoming the president, at least in this election cycle. All of them are just fucking floundering. So why should I waste my time watching like what 8 losers on stage duke it out? I'll pay attention to the Iowa caucus just to laugh at these fucking losers when they flounder. Speaking of Iowa, the only time I remember that Iowa even fucking exists is when there's a national election. Drowning Pool's first album is still the GOAT. I've never well, I've of course heard the "Bodies Hit the Floor" song because who the fuck hasn't? That is Drowning Pool, right? I'm just showcasing my complete lack of knowledge in the new metal genre if that isn't Drowning Pool, but pretty sure it is. But aside from that, I can't name a Drowning Pool song. I just know they're a band that exists, that was big during a time when, music like that was really popular and that my dad really liked them. I don't know, I've just never really been able to get into new metal though, despite my dad always playing it as a kid. I mean, again, I have a soft spot for some new metal. I don't like outright despise the genre like a lot of people seem to, but I know quite a few people online who really like new metal, and I just can't relate that much. Limp Bizkit got some good songs, in my opinion. Limp Bizkit is a good band. Yeah, I'll go to my grave saying that Limp Bizkit isn't nearly as bad as people say they are. Again, I know their music is stupid, but again, like stupid in an endearing kind of way to me. Like when I'm listening to Limp Bizkit, I'm just singing along, keep rolling, 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 rolling. It's fun. I'm referring to the what parents should know about inappropriate content on YouTube video. That's what I mean. That's what I mean. The Good Morning America video on YouTube. Well, I've never seen this video, nor have I heard about this video until this live stream. So, got no opinion on it. Sinner and Desensitized are my favorite Drowning Pool albums. I mainly like 90s and 2000s rock. Drowning Pool were kind of a one-hit wonder band. Yeah, that I just know that one song that's really big that everyone knows, and besides that, I don't know a single other Drowning Pool song. Tear Away is also good. I haven't heard of that. Drowning Pool's lead singer's life was cut way too short, unfortunately. Oh, really? The dude died? Oh, wow. Again, I know almost nothing about this band, so I didn't know the lead singer was dead. Yeah, Dave Williams was only 30 when he died. Wow, how'd he die? Cardiomyopathy. Damn. Yeah, it's always unfortunate when a singer's life is cut short. And, I don't know if Drowning Pool is still going, but, there's plenty of instances where, the front man dies tragically early and thus the rest of the band is cut short. There's a great band that I really enjoy called Snot, whose lead singer died in a car accident in the middle of when they're in the middle of making their second album. So they only ever had one album that released. That's one of my biggest music what ifs because I think that first album kicks ass and I would have loved to hear more. If Henry Kissinger taught us anything, it's that if you're an evil fuck, you got to live to be like 220. Those are the people who live the longest, unfortunately. heard Snot before. Cool. I remember having an online friend listen to Snot a few years ago in my Discord. They really enjoyed it. Engage with your audience. Start a Q&A. Start a poll. I kind of wonder what the Q&A feature does. Isn't what I'm doing right now technically already a Q&A? People are asking me questions in the chat and I'm answering them. I'm just fucking around with some of the buttons here on the live stream dashboard. I could donate money to myself, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah, I don't listen to that much new metal, like, at all. Mainly listen to classic rock and classic metal. Hello, Joshua. How you doing? Like my, I'm sure you all know my favorite band is Pink Floyd. So that's the that's the kind of music I'm into. Have you ever heard of an electric rock band called Pendulum? I don't think I have. Doesn't sound familiar, at least. Maybe they have like a song or two I've heard before that if I listened to them, I'd be like, oh, those songs. But no, the band name doesn't sound familiar. Yeah, 80s metal, primarily. You know, the bands everyone knows, like Metallica or Iron Maiden and Slayer and such. Oh, okay, they're from Australia and they got some great stuff. Maybe I'll check them out someday. So, any of you have anything going on? How are all of you doing? I don't really have shit going on with my life right now, aside from like college finals. Oh yeah, Christmas in 10 days. How could I fucking forget? Today's the 15th. December 25th is Christmas. Kind of whatever to me. Christmas is just any other day in my household. I'm just watching my neighbor's cat while she is away. Oh, speaking of that, we had some stray kittens come into our house earlier. My uncle likes to feed them. I took some pictures. Maybe I'll post them in my Discord server later. Does that pick up? Yeah. It's a one black and white cat, and well, they're both black and white, but one is mostly black and the other is half black, half white. I like that white one though. Reminds me of Charlie, who's in my grandma's room right now sleeping, I assume. Or at least that's what Charlie was doing before I started this stream when I checked up on him. Charlie is going to be 16 in April. He was born in April 2008, April 1st of all days, and he's still going strong. Are you following the BDS movement? The pro-Palestinian movement? Yeah, I'm aware of it. I did some last minute Christmas shopping today. Ooh, Christmas shopping. Ew. Ugh. Yeah, that's something I've done only a handful of times in my life that I'd rather not do again. Well, what I mean by Christmas shopping is running in to like the local Target on Christmas Eve and buying some like last minute presents for some family members, and you would not want to be in that Target on Christmas Eve. Holy shit. I remember I've only participated in Black Friday a couple of times in my life. Well, no, I've never done shit like, camp out outside of a store at like 2 in the morning waiting for the store to open up. Fuck that. No, never want to do that. But I've been in I've been in the Target on Black Friday, more like the afternoon of a Black Friday when all the good shit is already gone. But no, I remember going in with my mom a few years ago just out of curiosity to see if there's anything that I'd be interested in getting. And I remember getting an Appetite of Destruction vinyl on that day. It wasn't on sale, but I still thought it'd be cool to get. But no, that's something I don't want to do again because the even with all the stuff mostly gone, the store was packed, so hectic. Ugh. And I don't like being around all ugh, being inside of an enclosed space with all those people. Ugh, ugh. Don't want to be around people, especially in large quantities. I got past no damaging the cabin part, no GRE4. Now I got to fight the big cheese. Good luck no damaging that part in the remake. Holy fuck. I mean, I've been able to no damage the cabin in OGRE4, well, on normal difficulty at least. But that part in the remake, fuck. A lot more hectic and a lot more enemies surrounding you than in the OG. Uh, I could talk about Resident Evil 4 for like hours. I could like spend the remainder of this stream talking about Resident Evil 4. It's always nice whenever someone brings it up. I still like the original more than the remake. That's not to say the remake isn't fantastic. There's a lot of discourse that annoys me though when it comes to, which is better, the OG or the remake. I see a lot of stupid people on both sides of the argument. There's people who prefer the remake who say the people who prefer the original only prefer it for nostalgia. It's only a good game if you're nostalgic for it. Otherwise, it's outdated trash. When I don't agree at all. I mean, yeah, sure, the game has tank controls and you can't move while aiming, but I never minded that. I could play the remake, then go right back to the original with no problem whatsoever. That's mainly because I played the original so many goddamn times, but I don't know, and I've never found the controls as rough as other people, and I've only I only the first time I played the game was in 2020, so it's not a game I've been playing since childhood or anything. But then there's people who prefer the original and say, completely trash the remake and say it's not it doesn't live up to the original, it's horrible, complete downgrade. And I'm just sitting here like I love both versions of the game. Like, I don't know, there was a lot of stupid tribalism, like, you have to prefer one or the other. You have to like one and hate the other, and I really don't like it. Both games are fantastic for different reasons. Oh, and today is my cat Maxwell's 12th birthday. Oh, happy birthday, Maxwell. 12. Mm. It kinda bums me out that Charlie is getting older. I mean, he's still really healthy for a cat, that's about to turn 16, but, there's still, the reality that, he's gonna die someday, and that day is soon probably sooner rather than later at this point. Ugh, can't imagine life without him because I've he's been he's been pretty much my companion since age 7. Charlie was never afraid of me. Like right away when we started bringing Charlie in the house, you know, me and him really connected. Ah, no, I don't want to update Chrome. Not in the middle of a live stream. Go away. Black Friday turns people in stores insane. It really does. I've always found it funny that Black Friday follows up a day that's all about, supposedly all about, um, thankfulness and, being thankful for those in your life and the things that you have. And then immediately there's a day that's all about, blind consumerism. Got to get this, got to get that because you don't already have enough luxury bullshit that you have in your house. Just got to get more and more and more. A bit of a dead topic, but what are your thoughts on the Call Me Carson situation? I heard of that person, but I don't know much about the situation they were involved in. What happened with them? Were they a predator or something? Random fact, I like watching your old videos sometimes. I maybe this is a bit narcissistic, but I like watching my own videos. Not my old videos. Ugh, no, the old Meverse fans. I Some of those videos I haven't seen in years, but no, my recent videos though, the videos I've made in more recent years, I like rewatching. I watch some videos of mine and I'm like, I nailed that. I did a pretty good job articulating how I feel about this certain subject. The other day, I was watching my most recent Comet Waste Bin video, the ninth one that I uploaded back during the summer, and I was like, you know, I didn't watch that video since I uploaded it, and I was like, I did a pretty good job with that video, especially like the part where I was cursing excessively because one person was like, "You curse too much in your videos. What if children are watching?" I don't fucking care. But no, I like that video. Speaking of video making and my videos, I already recorded all of the audio for my worst YouTubers of 2023 video. It's not completely done yet. I still gotta like do some audio shit, like cut out long pauses and such and stuttering. It's not a huge problem in my videos, but I still do it sometimes in videos, and there's a couple occasions where I do it in the worst when I was recording the worst YouTubers video, so I'm gonna cut some of that out. But I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Someone just commented on one of my videos. Notification distracted me. Um, but just a heads up, the video was over an hour long, about an hour and 10 minutes long to be more exact. But I'm happy with how it's turning out. This year was great when it came to YouTubers fucking up and, you know, going on a downward spiral. I mean, that's probably a bad thing to say, because a lot of these YouTubers that I have in the list are genuinely horrible people, but I had no problem compiling people for this year's list, and I have quite a few people in this year's list that are actually pretty fucking terrible people. So I don't think this list will disappoint this year. Here's to 2024 being even more awful when it comes to YouTube drama, because that means more potential contenders for 2024's list. Don't ever touch Cookie Monster's cookies or he will kill you. Some stupid meme comment that I came up with. Okay. I was rewatching your cable rant earlier. My cable rant, I remember making that video. The video is only like a year old. But I I haven't seen that video since around the time I uploaded it, I think. But I still agree that I mean, streaming services aren't great. I'll concede on that, especially when it comes to content being taken off of streaming services. Nothing is permanent on these streaming services, but I'd much rather be watching streaming services than cable. Ugh. Yeah, live television is not for me anymore. I know you don't necessarily need cable to watch live television, but the whole outdated cable format, having a cable box, all that shit, nah, no, thank you. I mean, we when we were watching cable, we had a Spectrum box, and we can still watch Spectrum. We have the app on the TV downstairs, the Spectrum app. I don't watch that because again, I don't like live TV. Where you got to sit through the commercials, got to wait for if you want to watch a certain show, you got to wait for you got to be at the mercy of of the channel, showing it if they do on a certain day. I'd much rather have, content be on demand rather than, again, being at the mercy of a channel schedule. But yeah, going back to my content, I not to toot my own horn. Well, yeah, I am toot my own horn, but not to toot it too much. But I'm pretty happy with my recent content, or at least the content I've been making since at least I don't know 2020. Even watching some of my 2019 videos, I watched them, and I don't exactly cringe. Well, certain videos from 2019 I do cringe at, but I mean, like in general, I noticed a lot of stuttering, a lot of ums and pauses, and like I feel like I've gotten better at articulating my thoughts, on video ever since then. I don't script my videos. The only things I read off of are articles relating to topics I'm discussing. I really hope 2024 will be a good year. 2023 has sucked so bad for me. I'd say 2023 has been a pretty meh year for me. I'm sorry that your 2020 is bad, but mine personally was just, nothing to really, nothing exciting, nothing really too noteworthy. Just another year. 2020 was easily the worst year of my life with my grandmother dying. and I guess COVID too. But honestly, I've said this before, I'm pretty sure, but I'll say it again. Honestly, when COVID first hit and we had to be quarantined, I was fine because I was already used to isolating myself from other people and spending most of my time at home. So I didn't have to make any huge life changes during quarantine. But then my grandmother was in the hospital, and that was horrible. She was in there for a month before she passed away, and yeah, August of 2020 was easily the worst month of my life. And the first like 10 days of September before she died on September 11th of all days in 2020. But yeah, that year was terrible, and ever since then I've had just kind of years. 2021 was the recovery year from how much of a shit show 2020 was. I mean, not just for me, but for the whole world in general, especially when it came to like COVID and such. And we're pretty much back to, I guess, normal life at this point. No one's really paying attention to COVID anymore. Well, for better or for worse, probably for worse. I've always wondered why your views went down compared to old videos. Do you think it's the algorithm or leaving your past views behind? Probably the latter. I mean, I see a lot of these YouTubers complain about, getting worse views than they were getting before. And, a lot of the times it's just, people move on. People don't care as much anymore. And, you either accept that or just pack your bags and stop making content because I really don't want to watch video after video of you complaining about your views going down. And that's pretty much where I'm at. My views aren't what they used to be back like 6 years ago. Sometimes I look back at videos from I made in like 2017 or whatever, and a lot of those videos get like 500 plus views or even 1,000 views, and I don't make views like that anymore. But I don't really care that much. I think my videos are still better these days than they were back then. Not even just when it came to my opinions on certain things, just, the way I speak, or, I'm not stuttering every other word like I used to back then. But, I've, I guess that, some people have said I've gone woke or whatever the fuck that means, but, I don't really care that much. You know, plenty of YouTubers who have gone leftward, they see a decline in views, and a lot of their audience leaves them because they go woke or whatever the fuck. You know, I don't do a lot of what I used to do, like the fan base bashing videos or things along those lines because I don't really find stuff like that to be fun anymore. What do you think of physical media like DVDs? I've always wanted to have some physical media mainly, but I don't own a DVD player. My mom does, though, I think. Here's the thing. I'm kind of weird when it comes to physical media because I don't give a fuck about physical media when it comes to mediums such as, movies and TV shows. I mean, I have a DVD collection in the cabinet over there, right there. But I haven't touched like I don't know 99% of those DVDs in years. I have a DVD player in the living room downstairs, but we haven't touched that in a long time. But when it comes to video games, I am I'm all aboard the physical media train, and I'm really sad to see physical media when it comes to video games being phased out because I love physical media. I moved my PlayStation rack over there, and there's the rack. My game, there's my GameCube collection right there, right there. Sorry, on the live stream dashboard, the camera's mirrored, so it's kind of hard to point to things. Anyway, but yeah, I still really like physical media when it comes to video games, probably because video games are my favorite form of media. It used to be music. I used to collect vinyls a lot, but I haven't done that so much in recent years. I still do listen to my vinyl sometimes though, but anyway. So yeah, video games are the medium I care for the most, so that's probably why physical media, physical video game media means so much to me. It just feels more special to me, you know, holding that box in your hands. I know there's really no reason to get a game physically these days. It's not like it really comes with any goodies like a manual or anything of the sort because, at most you get like a little pamphlet advertising another game in in the video game case these days, but I still do like actually having a physical. I still do actually like having the case and being able to hold the case in my hands, putting the disc into the console. I don't know. If I just buy a game digitally, it just doesn't feel complete to me. That's why I'm still conflicted on getting the second Alan Wake 2 game. I heard that game is excellent. That game does certainly seem like something that would be right up my alley because I do like horror games. Resident Evil is my favorite video game franchise. I mean, I know not every Resident Evil game is necessarily a horror game, but the early Resident Evil games, the fixed camera era is, despite 4 being my favorite, is still my favorite era of Resident Evil games. So, I like horror games. There's also a really great underrated horror game for the GameCube called Eternal Darkness. I won't spoil much, but the a lot of that game's horror relies on fucking with the player. Um, yeah, I won't say more than that if you ever want to experience that game for yourself. But the problem with that game, it's only sold digitally. There is no physical version of that game. At least not yet. I've seen some people cope. This is probably cope, but I have seen some people say maybe eventually they'll come out with with a physical release for that game. But I don't know. I don't know. I probably am missing out, and I don't know. Maybe I'll cave and get that game someday. But I don't know. I don't really want to support the practice of not of a major game developer releasing a AAA game and not releasing a AAA game only digitally. I don't like that. That doesn't sit right with me. I think there should always be the option to buy physically, but I also have to acknowledge the reality. Most people are buying their games digitally these days. They don't give a fuck about buying their games physically because, let's be honest, it's more convenient to buy your game straight off the console than, going to a store and buying the game or ordering it on Amazon or any other e-commerce website and, waiting a few days for it to arrive to your house. I have no problem doing that. I was hyped as fuck for the Resident Evil 4 remake, but I was still able to wait a few days for the game to arrive at my house. The game came out on March 24th, that was a Friday, and it came the following Monday, the 27th. I mean, it kind of hurt like going on Reddit or whatever because I've joined the main Resident Evil subreddit and the Resident Evil 4 subreddit. It kind of hurt seeing people online playing the game and having fun while I was missing out for those few days, but it was worth it. It was a really special experience when that package arrived. Well, when I came home from class that day, the package was already there. I just ran to that package, opened it up, finally holding the game I was so hyped for in my own hands. And yeah, nothing beats that experience for me. Definitely wouldn't have the same experience if I were to have gotten that game digitally. I know this is all sentimental bullshit that doesn't really mean much to a lot of people. You know, it's not going to sway people when it comes to whether or not they buy digitally, but I'm just saying why physical games mean a lot to me. God, I've been on this tangent for a while now. I've completely ignored the chat, so I'll move on now. Where did I even leave off? Ah, cable also speeds up some shows for more commercials. They've been speeding up classic SpongeBob episodes for a few years now. Yeah, certain scenes are cut out in favor of, having more time for commercials. Uh, I remember the example that comes immediately to my mind is back when we had a cable box and we didn't have streaming services in the house yet. Sometimes me and my uncle like watching Golden Girls together. I have no shame admitting that. It's a great sitcom, okay? Anyway, you know, and last year we binged that series on Hulu. The entire series is on Hulu, and we noticed some scenes that we didn't notice before because certain scenes were cut out in favor of showing more commercials. And we're like, oh, no clue that scene existed. So yeah, that's another reason why I have no interest in watching cable or live TV in general, because you know a lot of the times certain scenes of a show or episode or whatever get cut out, so there'll be more time for commercials to air. Ugh. Commercials in general. Ugh. I have the ability to advertise my videos, not advertise, monetize my videos, but I don't. Well, one, because I know they'd be demonetized out the ass because I curse so much in my videos. No way would YouTube allow monetization on them, but also because I just fucking hate advertisements. You know, I hate seeing advertisements when I'm watching other people's videos. Well, I have YouTube Premium. That hasn't been my problem for a long time now. But before I had YouTube Premium, when I would watch on my phone because I have ad block installed on my computer, there'd be like a 30-second ad before a video, an unskippable ad, and I'd be like, and then there'd be those fucking mid-roll ads. I hate that shit. So, as a courtesy from me to my audience, I don't allow ads on my videos because I'm sure you hate ads as much as I do. So, you're welcome. I hear YouTube ads are getting worse, by the way. Speaking of YouTube ads, I've heard that like actual soft core porn ads are showing on YouTube now. I don't know the validity of that. I've seen some screenshots though of very risque ads that borderline on porn being shown on this site. But yeah, yeah, you demonetize a person for saying fuck, but you allow that shit to be ads on your site. Good job, YouTube. Cable is outdated and shitty. The UN leader brought back out Article 99 amid the Gaza genocide. I've heard. I I've tried to take a breather on following the Gaza genocide because it's just really it takes a toll on your mental health. Especially with all the videos and pictures that are coming out, the horrible videos and pictures that are coming out of Gaza. I know that's probably privileged of me to say, tune out this horrible tragedy that's going on, but you know, mental health takes priority. Remember, I watched you in 2017 and I really enjoyed those videos. Well, thank you. I don't hate all of my videos from back then. There's some that I like. My biggest issue with DVDs and Blu-rays is the region lock. Yeah, I don't really care about physical media when it comes to not video games, movies, TV shows, and music. completely transitioned to streaming services when it comes to those mediums, and it's probably not a good thing, but I just like the instant content. But for me, video games have always been different. Speaking of region lock, I remember when I would unironically defend region locking when it came to Nintendo region locking their consoles. Thank God they stopped doing that with the Switch. But I'll be honest, I hate bringing him up, but I would just pair it with what OBA would say in his old videos because he didn't like region. He didn't care about region locking either. He would say, "Well, you're gonna learn Japanese just to play a video game," and I would parrot that talking point on Miiverse, and I would get absolutely destroyed by people who are anti-region locking for good reason. I you know held the completely wrong position back then on region locking. I didn't really understand the issue back then. I just he was a YouTuber that I liked, and I just blindly believed every word he said. What are the few 2017 videos you like? Uh, there are some that I like. Again, like I said, I don't hate all of them. It's just that I haven't seen a lot of them back for in a long time. I'm just scrolling through my most popular videos trying to find a 2017 video I don't mind. Original Blood Ace really was arrested. I like that video. Sometimes I watch that video just for the OBA mock-up intro that a friend that I haven't spoken to in years made for me. 90s kids suck. I still agree with that video. Nintendo is for babies. That video still gets people mad, and it's funny seeing people get mad over a 6-year-old video. My Daddy 05 videos, I'm fine with those. Yeah, there's quite a few 2017 videos I don't mind. It's mainly just, the more politically charged ones I made back then are bad. There's also a really fucking horrible video I made, probably one of my least favorite videos I made as a video response to a YouTuber called Superwoman. She made a video back then when ranting on people who think Indian people, Pakistanis, and Afghanis and such were all just the same people because they're brown people. They must all be the same, right? Just ignorant racist people who see someone of a certain skin color and automatically assume their background. She ranted against that because she herself, I think, is an Indian woman. And back then I was like, if people look, I forget the exact point I made in that video. I think I have it saved on Google Photos, but I'd rather not watch it again because it's so embarrassing. But I was pretty much just defending the ignorant position that, if you have a certain skin color, people are going to make assumptions that you're of a certain race, and you could just correct them. You don't have to freak out. Yeah. I think I also opened up that video with her in front of like ISIS footage or whatever. And, yeah, that's a video I deleted a while ago that I really disavow now. What they see as going woke, I see as improving upon your viewpoints and evolving as a person. Yeah, I mean, I never take the whole going woke thing seriously because a lot of the times it's people complaining about personal growth. Like iDubbbz, for example, he still has a lot of people complaining that he's not making the videos he used to make, or is not as edgy as he used to be, because those videos did contribute to a lot of racism and homophobia and such that were so prevalent on the internet at the time. That may not have been his intention, of course. I'm not saying he genuinely was a racist and a homophobe back then, but him saying those slurs frivolously and saying shit like "I'm okay with bullying, there's nothing wrong with bullying," spreads really harmful talking points and sentiment, you know, across the internet because he had such a huge audience back then. You know, I remember, I forget what video it was exactly. I think it was D'Angelo Wallace's video about iDubbbz's apology. Someone commented under that video saying that, they're a person of color. They were in middle school or high school back when iDubbbz was popular. And, a lot of kids that were fans of iDubbbz back then were saying the N-word frivolously, and they received some bullying because of their skin color because of those from those kids who watched iDubbbz back then. So, that kind of content, his content definitely did contribute to very harmful behavior. And they say that they, still struggle forgiving iDubbbz even after he apologized. And I think that's totally valid if you're at the receiving end of all the slurs he was saying back then, and especially if you yourself received harassment from fans of his back then that, were saying these horrible slurs and, engaging in bullying because iDub said it was a-okay. I don't think it's unreasonable at all to not forgive him. It was so stupid when Penguin Zero came out with that video saying, "What was the harm in iDubbbz's old content? It was all fun and games." Yeah, because you weren't at the receiving end of that kind of content. Weren't at the receiving end of the slurs and other shit he was saying back then. I mean, I otherwise like Penguin Zero. I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think that video, the initial video he made at least on iDubbbz's apology was pretty fucking bad. But yeah, a lot of people are just really stuck in that stupid edgy teenager mindset that was so popular in 2016, and they've never mentally matured past age 15, which I'm sure was the age that a lot of these people were back then. So, whenever someone, especially if someone was a prominent figure back then, grows past that mindset, they feel betrayed because they themselves have never grown past that mindset. And that person who has grown past that mindset may have been, a very influential figure in their lives back then. So again, when they themselves, when those popular figures grow and change, they feel a sense of betrayal because they're just forever stuck in 2016. My brother is a huge gamer. He collects Nintendo related stuff too, but when I was young, he had the Nintendo Wii and we were playing Mario Kart or Smash. Oh, that's cool. I remember I used to play Mario Kart Wii with my cousin way back when we were like 10 years old. Well, I was 10 and she was 11. She's a year older than me. Had a lot of fun. Well, actually, me and that same cousin a few years ago played Double Dash together. She never played Double Dash. She didn't own a GameCube back then. She only owned a Wii. And it was really cool, you know. Yeah. It's like we were kids again, playing Mario Kart together. Well, actually, around Christmas time last year, my friend and his girlfriend came over for like an hour at my house. Well, he gave me a last minute Christmas present. That's why they were over. They were going around giving a bunch of my friends a present, and I let them in for a little bit, and the three of us played a double dash together. That was a lot of fun. Yeah. But it's not often I play video games with other people. I mostly play single player games. But, playing stuff like Mario Kart with other people is a blast. Uh, where did I leave off? How much longer are you streaming? About 40 more minutes, an hour and 25 minutes I've been streaming so far. Fuck. Wow. Uh, these streams always fly by. And I usually end these streams at the 2 hour and 5 minute mark, barring anything that may happen between now and then that would make me end the stream early. Like, I don't know, my internet going out or some shit like that, which I don't think has ever happened during any of these streams and hopefully never does happen. What's up, Mikey? Nothing much, just chilling, just streaming. Have to finish a paper I'm writing for one of my classes when this stream is over. Another Mikey W. What exactly? I prefer physical games based. TV is pretty bad for censorship and commercials, yeah. Again, that's why I don't watch live TV anymore. Fuck live TV. I hate ads so much. I'm glad I got YouTube Premium. Yeah, I know a lot of people say YouTube Premium is a waste, but honestly, for me, it's useful because I watch YouTube on my phone a lot, and I have an iPhone, so I can't, like install ad block on it you or get like third party apps that are not on the App Store that block YouTube ads or anything of the sort. So, it's useful for me to not have ads on my phone. And also there should be a feature that's available for everyone. This is like one of those no duh features that every other video sharing site has, I'm sure, but you could also watch videos in the background. Like, you could leave the app and the video is still playing in the background. That's very useful for me because a lot of the times when I'm watching videos, I'm also like multitasking. I'm not doing anything important, but I'm like texting friends or whatever, or talking on Discord, or doing whatever the fuck else on my phone. And I'd like to still be able to hear videos in the background, and it's also helpful for sleeping because I'm pretty sure I've said this before in a video or in a live or in some live streams before, but outside noise really um I really don't like outside noise when I'm sleeping. So I have a fan noise playing. I have a 10-hour video. I have a video that's like 10 hours long. That's just the sound of a fan looping. So that helps me sleep. And, obviously I wouldn't be able to do that because if I didn't have YouTube Premium, because I would lock my phone and then the video would stop playing. I have that video playing on my, I have that video play on my Alexa. So it completely blocks out all the outside noise. So, YouTube Premium does actually have some purpose beyond just for me at least, beyond just, not seeing ads on YouTube videos. I remember subbing to YouTube Premium some time ago because I was tired of seeing PragerU and NRA ads when watching Sam Cedar. Yeah, and that's not just the case for Sam Cedar either. Other channels like Vosh and such, you get these fucking you get shit like Daily Wire ads before those videos. Yeah, I fucking hated that too. What's that new Daily Wire movie that came out, Ballin' or whatever? So there's there's some movie about making fun of trans athletes because that's totally a pressing issue in this country that we should all be focusing on. Totally. I took a fat bong grip. Cool. It's been a long time since I've used a bong. Mostly I just smoke a joint whenever I get high. Never understood the purpose of region locking. It still happens in streaming as well as physical. Yeah, fuck region locking. And fuck 13-year-old me for defending region locking. I love how people are still mad about your Nintendo's for Babies video. Yeah, it's crazy. That video is still getting people upset. Wait, hang on. Let me change position for a second. I'm talking Sopranos shirt, a Sopranos podcast with two Sopranos cast members that ran during quarantine. I love that podcast. Even though I don't think anyone else here gives a shit about Sopranos. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Nintendo's for Babies video. Yeah, people are still mad about that video. It's crazy. Just a few months ago, someone joined my Discord server and started DMing me saying, I am not a baby. I love Nintendo and go fuck yourself for saying bad things about Nintendo or whatever. I forget exactly what they wrote to me in DMs, but I was just like, that video is a troll. It literally my Nintendo Network ID and my 3DS friend code are in the description. Holy fuck. Speaking of troll videos, I was not expecting that nerd emoji video I made to have nearly 900 views. I don't know where the fuck that came from. And a lot of the comments, I'm not even sure if people are just playing along or genuinely think I'm offended by the nerd emoji. I mean, there's some people in the comment section of that video who are like, you know, Apple is never going to listen to you. They're not going to get rid of the nerd emoji. And I'm like, you do know this video is a joke, right? Remember when OBA's Miiverse account was hacked after his arrest? Oh yeah, that happened. Yeah, I forgot about that. I lived near OBA. I lived 3.5 hours from Lethbridge. Surprised OBA is still talked about 6 years later in this JMO. He is kind of the glue that holds me and a lot of my friend group together. I mean, not everyone I talk to in my Discord server I met through OBA, but good chunk of people I talk to online, even to this day. I'm pretty sure I met through OBA. And the early days of this channel, I mean, I made Miiverse rants like he did, so me and my audience and his audience had quite a bit of overlap. He's just very significant when it comes to the history of this channel, for better or for worse. I mean, I don't like talking about him all the time. I don't like bringing him up that much. And sometimes when someone in like my server brings him up, I'm just like, just kind of want to just change the subject. Do you watch SML? No, I don't. Just because something's woke doesn't mean it's bad. Some of these woke things right wingers complain about are so petty. Yeah, a lot of this culture war bullshit. It's just shit that's not worth paying attention to. Oh God, Lady Ballers. That's what the movie is called, Lady Ballers. Yeah, I have no interest in seeing that movie. And I don't think many people outside of like right wingers are interested in seeing that movie. And even then, I don't know how many right wingers are actually interested in seeing the movie. They may just see the trailer and be like, hey, this owns the libs. I bet the libs are mad over this trailer and then never actually bother to see the movie. I never use joints. All of us teens in Canada use bongs or pipes. Well, I'm an adult, so I don't relate to teens, so I guess I'm old fashioned and smoke from a joint. What are your real thoughts on the nerd emoji? I don't care. I mean, I don't have any strong feelings for the nerd emoji one way or the other. Use it to your heart's content, I guess. I mean, there probably are some instances where the nerd emoji is used disparagingly against someone who may be, I don't know, a nerd, nerdish, whatever. And I guess in those instances, I condemn the usage of it, but it's really a contextual thing. It's not always used in a disparaging manner. It's used in a lot of memes and shit that, aren't really worth taking seriously at all. Commented 4 nerd emojis on that video and you replied heartless. Yeah, I remember. I'm packing a bowl of some pink kush. Cool. Enjoy your pink kush. I haven't gotten high since I think August, right before my college semester started. Hung out with some friends and got high with them. Should do that again since semester's about to be over. I have a lot of time on my hands again. I'm gonna take a 10-day tolerance break next month. Oh, best of luck. I've never had the chance to get high. Ooh. Well, do you have any interest in getting high or no? Me, I gave into peer pressure. uh, some. I was 15. Yeah, there was 2016. I was offered some weed, and at first I was like, I don't wanna take this. Could be a gateway drug. I didn't actually say that. That'd be so fucking embarrassing, but I was visibly nervous, and I still did believe in the gateway drug bullshit, how weed was gonna eventually lead you to taking shit like meth and heroin and such, and I tried it, and for like 6 months after that, I was like a full-time stoner. The only issue I deal with stopping weed is appetite loss. Well, hopefully that doesn't become a huge issue for you and during your tolerance break. Yeah, I mean, I would like to smoke weed more often, but it's something that I don't want to like do I don't want to use every single day because I feel like I would get a little too dependent on it. I mean, it has been great for issues such as my anxiety and depression. Like when I was when I was a stoner for like 6 months at like the very end of 2016 and like the first half of 2017. I'm not gonna say my anxiety and depression completely went away because it's not some kind of like fucking miracle drug that's gonna completely get rid of your anxiety and depression, of course, but it definitely ameliorated it. It wasn't as prevalent of an issue for me as it was, prior to me smoking weed regularly. At least in my experience, of course, there are instances where weed can exacerbate anxiety and such, and increase paranoia, things like that, or give you panic attacks. That's definitely possible too. I mean, of course, the experience varies between person to person. It's not for everyone. I want to try weed someday, yeah. Well, go right ahead. It's definitely worth trying, at least. I smoke cannabis every day, to be honest, and enjoy it every time. Well, that's good. I'm not like I'm not knocking you regularly using weed. I'm just speaking purely, you know, from my personal experience and how I feel. Do you still stand by the "Don't accept harmful opinions" video? What video even was that? It's always flattering when people remember more about my channel than I do. Harmful opinions. Just doing a search on my channel. Hmm. Did I take that video down? Oh, here's a video called "Discriminatory Opinions Should Never Be Accepted" from 3 years ago. I would have to watch this video again to see if I still agree with it. I mean, I agree with the title though, at the very least. I don't want to associate with bigots like homophobes or racists or transphobes and such. I've cut that shit out of my life. But I don't know about the actual content of the video. Maybe there'd be like a point or two where I say, didn't exactly hit the mark with this point, but I have 4 glass bongs right now. Cheers, taking a huge bong rip of pink kush. Cheers. I don't have a cup or I don't have a bong either to clank the screen with, but if I did, I would. How have I already been streaming for an hour and 42 minutes? What the fuck? I know I say this every stream, but these streams really do go by fast for me. You all make these streams a lot of fun. I'm definitely not a full-on leftist, but I'd say I'm center left. Really needed to let that burp out. Ooh, another one almost came. Anyway, I'm not the type to like cut anyone out of my life who isn't a full-on leftist. I understand there are people with, political disagreements that aren't too egregious. So I'm fine with people who are at least center left, or hell, people who are dead center. That really depends though, because a lot of people who are centrist say they're centrist, but they coincidentally only agree with what right wingers say, or at least 95% of the time they agree with what right wingers say, even though they claim to, not have a political bias or anything of the sort. But if someone is genuinely centrist, like I have one friend online who considers himself a centrist who isn't bigoted or, isn't really down with a lot of the culture war bullshit on the right. I'm fine with him. I mean, yeah, sure. Sometimes I have political disagreements with him, but kind of comes with the territory as someone who is, very left like myself, associating with a centrist. But no, it's nothing we've ever disagreed over. It's like friendship ruining or anything like that. What's your least favorite video you've made? Probably the one I mentioned earlier, the Superwoman video. And I literally, like I said, I literally put her in front of footage of ISIS. She's not even Middle Eastern, but she has brown skin, so I was still making that stupid joke just to trigger her and her fans. Oh yeah, also the N-word video, the video where I say the N-word over and over again to try to make a point and say the N-word isn't so bad and people should stop being offended by it. And here I am, a white dude saying that shit. I saw Tanner Cook uploaded another video, and hi, by the way. Oh, the dude that got shot when they were filming a when he was filming a prank video. He's back. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he should have gotten shot. I think a lot of the people who said he deserved to get shot are just psychotic. I mean, of course, the whole point of the prank was to make a person feel unsafe, but nothing that was shown in the video warranted him getting shot. The most he was doing was shoving an iPhone in someone's face, and I think he was playing a video or whatever. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't shed any tears if he were like punched in the face or anything like that because he is invading a person's, you know, personal space. But at the same time, shooting him went way overboard, and I don't think he deserved that at all. He was stupid, yes, but he didn't deserve to almost lose his fucking life just for some stupid prank. I'm definitely more of a leftist, and I've had some centrists call me too opinionated or shut up about politics. Gets frustrating when some people don't want to acknowledge the political issues. Yeah, that's my problem with some centrists, like genuine centrists who aren't just, right wingers who are too cowardly to say they're right wing. The fucking apathy with a lot of them. I don't care about politics unless it directly affects me. So therefore, I shun anyone who takes political issues seriously. I fucking hate that shit. Like, okay, cool. You're not affected by a lot of political issues in this world. I find that hard to believe, but okay, yeah. But what about the people who are genuinely affected? What about like trans people in red states who constantly talk about their shitty situation? Should they just shut the fuck up? Like, yeah, it's frustrating hearing shit like that from some people because there are people who are in less privileged situations or in just outright terrible situations. Like, again, like I said, like trans people in deep red states that are enacting all these anti-trans laws, you know, they may not have any friends or family to turn to, so all they may have is the internet where they vent about, what is going on in these states and all of these anti-trans laws, and they're very opinionated when it comes to politics. These are people directly affected by serious issues. You can't expect them to just shut the fuck up because you don't like hearing about politics, person who isn't even affected by these sorts of issues. How about you shut the fuck up? I see no reason as to why anyone should say the N word with the hard R, especially. Yeah, there's really, unless you're like reading an old story that has that word in it, or you're like an actor playing a racist character. I can't really think of many other exceptions for saying that word because there's really no reason to say that word unless you are a bigoted piece of shit and have no problem saying that word. Like all these really weird Matt Walsh fans are really mad at me for calling out Matt Walsh for saying that the N word is just a word that we should have no issue with or anything of the sort. And I'm willing to bet most of these people who got mad at me, or all of these people who got mad at me when I made that video, were white people who are mad that that they're not able to say that word without being, socially ostracized. Like, why do you want to say that word so badly, Matt Walsh fans? Hmm. And yet at the same time, Karen is a fucking racial slur to these people. Like, like snowflake racist 101. I don't care about the feelings of minorities. I'll say the N word all I want. It's just a word. But at the same time, please don't say Karen. That hurts my feelings as a white person. Fuck off. I've heard some right wingers blame school shootings on cannabis use. Funnily enough, my mind felt less angry, but more slow but calm ever since I used weed. So that's definitely not true. Yeah, me when I take weed, a lot of the times I just want to fucking go to sleep. Yeah, the last thing that's on my mind is going out and committing a mass shooting. Like weed is known as the drug that usually chills a person out. RTU uploaded a video about beat 'em ups, aka Woodhawker earlier. I don't know who beat 'em ups is. I mostly watch his gaming news videos. I also saw some of his videos about the completionist as well. I don't know how many other people in this chat watch Review Tech USA, but anyone else find it really fucking annoying his really weird fixation on DSP gaming? I didn't even know people still gave a fuck about DSP gaming, but he is always bringing that guy up in his videos and on his Twitter. Like I thought the DSP gaming discourse peaked like I don't know 8 or 9 years ago when he jacked off on a live stream and he didn't even know the live stream was on. That was funny, okay? That I can understand talking about, but in 2023, has that guy even done anything like noteworthy? Are you going to do another Christmas rant? No. I mean, I have been looking at the 1 Million Moms website to see if there's any good video content, and I don't know. There's some articles I'm kind of interested in. Target continues to cross the line because they have some merchandise that have the pride flag and the trans flag on them. Say no to Thanksgiving Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade because there's some drag queens. I think there were some drag queens at the Macy's Day parade. Oh, I gotta charge my laptop. Wait, hang on a second. There's also this article here where they claim to take responsibility for the Disney Channel show The Owl House getting canceled, which I highly doubt, but I also know nothing about that show besides it having some like gay characters or whatever. So I don't know if I'll make a video out of that. I used to think Matt Walsh was a parody at one point because I thought no one is this stupid but put too much faith in humanity, I guess. Yeah, there's a disturbing amount of people who take Matt Walsh seriously. I'm not a big Christmas fan, but I also hate people who ruin Christmas for others who do like it. That reminds me of some fundamentalist Christian conservative douchebag that used to be on in my server, up until a few years ago when I finally just kind of had enough of him and banned him. I made a video like back in like 2017, I think, saying I don't think it's that bad if an atheist celebrates Christmas. Like not the religious aspect of Christmas, but the aspect of Christmas, like gift giving or spending time with family and such, having dinner. Because at the time, I considered myself a hardline atheist, but I still enjoyed like the togetherness aspect of Christmas. The me spending time with my family. That was back when my grandmother was still alive, so my uncle from Jersey would come here, and have Christmas dinner with us, and it was a really good time. And I was saying I like that aspect of Christmas. I don't care about the religious aspect of Christmas, but having my family get together and having a nice dinner with them, I liked that. So therefore, I am an atheist, but I don't mind Christmas. That was the whole point of the video. And this one person got really fucking mad and said, "No, you're an atheist. You should not be celebrating Christmas because you're taking Christmas away from us Christians." Even though it was the pagans that came up with Christmas, not Christians. But anyway, our holiday is being stolen from us, and it was just so fucking stupid. Matt Walsh is a joke. Indeed, he is, but again, a disturbing amount of people take him seriously. To be honest, I don't get what's the huge hype with Dolly Parton. I don't listen to Dolly Parton. I didn't even know there was huge hype surrounding her. Wasn't she famous like what in the 70s? I didn't know she was still a big deal. I don't know what's the hype surrounding Taylor Swift. I mean, she's treated like she's God, especially this year. And I already made a video talking about this, but I do not get the hype surrounding Taylor Swift at all. Her music isn't anything special. She herself is just like any other celebrity. Why is she treated like the second coming of Jesus? And literally too, like when she did a I remember hearing this when she did a concert in Brazil. Let me see. Yeah, the famous Jesus statue with his arms in a T pose. They put up a projection of him wearing Taylor Swift merchandise. Like I don't really care that much. I'm not religious, so it doesn't really offend me, but at the same time, it really feeds into this notion like Taylor Swift is above the rest of humanity. She is the second coming of Jesus, and I don't get the appeal of her music. Maybe because I'm not a pop fan, but even still, her music is just like any other bullshit that's played on the radio so much. What is so special about her? Every Christian I've met IRL wasn't like the ones I see online. I even once met a Christian who smoked a bit of weed sometimes. Oh yeah, I mean all these like fundamentalist Christians you see online don't make up the majority of Christians in this world, I'm sure. A lot of people just, have their own religious beliefs, but they're not like in your face about it or don't make it their whole life. They just have some private beliefs that, if someone else has a different set of beliefs, they're fine with. They take no issue, and they're otherwise, and they're for the most part cool people. I mean, I'm friends with some Christians. There's nothing friendship ruining. They're allowed to have their own spiritual beliefs, so long as they don't, they're not like you're going to be condemned to hell because you don't believe in God. I don't hang out with those people. But yeah, I'm friends with some Christians, and they're pretty cool people. It's just the vocal minority you see online. This is the problem with the internet, you know, and otherwise, you know, and otherwise, small group of people within a larger fandom or spirituality or whatever. The toxic individuals get a magnifying glass, placed on them, and it makes it seem like most of the people who subscribe to a said religion or part of a certain fan base is exactly like this when that's not the case at all. It's just that it's easy to extrapolate these types on the internet and make it seem like they make up the majority when they don't. We're all humans. They are bad and good people with different backgrounds. I don't get why 1989 is brought up since it came out 10 years ago. Because Taylor Swift made a remake of it or whatever. I've heard she's been doing that for like the past few years, remaking her old albums. And I don't know why. I never looked into why she's doing that. I've never really heard of that before. I mean, there have been artists who do re-record old songs, but she's like remaking all of her old material. I don't even know if that Nick Adams guy on Twitter is serious or some kind of character. That guy is too ridiculous for me to take seriously. I'm convinced that guy is a troll because he is like every right wing stereotype rolled into one person. I hate 98% of pop music and 100% of country music. I like Johnny Cash and some country songs here and there, but yeah, for the most part, yeah. Country is a genre I'm not a fan of. I'm gonna take a third bong rip. We'll have fun. Cheers. Yeah, cheers. My voice hurts. Been talking continuously for 2 hours now. 2 hours, wow. Johnny Cash is really good, yeah. I enjoy myself some Johnny Cash. I came across this funny tweet from Alex Jones a few days ago because, Alex Jones was reinstated on Twitter because, Elon is a fascist anyway. He was quoting the song Hurt and then, ascribed the quote to Johnny Cash when Trent Reznor wrote that song. I just find it kind of funny. For a long time, I preferred Johnny Cash's cover of Hurt, but these days I prefer the original Nine Inch Nails version. Probably because I've been listening to the album, the Downward Spiral, quite a bit. That album is the soundtrack of a lot of shitty days for me. Great album. I respect your opinion, but I don't like country as a whole. Whatever. I mean, not every genre is for every person. But yeah, for me, the big exception for country music has always been Johnny Cash. But he's a lot of people's exception. I've seen a lot of people say they can't stand country music, but Johnny Cash is a good musician, or was a good musician. And he really was. I mean, I don't listen to all of Johnny Cash's music, but he has quite a few gems. Especially the albums he recorded live in prison. Well, he wasn't in prison, like he was a prisoner, but he was playing for prisoners, which I think was really cool. Like, have many musicians even done that? Go inside of prisons and play sets for the prisoners. A lot of the songs on those albums were great. That old friend of mine I mentioned won't be harassing me anymore. Well, that's good. Did uh did authorities get involved, or did he just say I'm not gonna bother you anymore? Can't stand most country, but I agree Johnny Cash is pretty good. Like I said, Johnny Cash is usually people's exception when it comes to not liking country music. The cops threatened to arrest him if he continued. Ah, I see. Well, at least he won't be bothering you anymore. The Cramps performed at a mental hospital back in 1978. Ah, well, I don't listen to the Cramps, so I didn't know that. Have you listened to the Gorillas before? I only know the two songs that everyone knows, Feel Good Inc. and Clint Eastwood, and I've heard some Gorilla songs aside from those, but they're not a group I listen to. I mean, I like what I've heard, but they're just not on my regular rotation of artists that I listen to. To be honest, after what I did, he's lucky he didn't get charged. Yeah, what you said in the venting chat in my server is pretty wild. I mean, yeah, anyone who threatens someone like that is someone not worth keeping around in your life. And with that said, 2 hour, 5 minute mark, you know the drill. I can barely speak anymore because my voice is not equipped to talk for this long continuously. But anyway, thank you all for being here. Thank you all to those who were here before that are not here now. I appreciate every single person who tunes into these live streams. And this was a really fun live stream. Was active all the way through, and that makes me really happy because it's a lot of fun interacting with the chat. Anyway, yeah, this will be the last stream of 2023, by the way. And I'll be premiering the worst YouTubers of 2023 video uh, on New Year's Eve. So that's the closest thing to another live stream you'll get during this month. Anyway, yeah, happy holidays to all of you as well, if you give a shit about the holidays. Anyway, yeah, got nothing else to say for the outro here. Thank you all for being here once again. See ya.